Good morning, Atlanta. I am Roni Winkeljohn. This is my fellow anchor, Susan Wang, and you're watching GTTV. We hope everyone's having a great day today, but the holidays are only 1 month away, and the temperature still hasn't dropped.
My anxiety keeps rising as carbon dioxide levels shoot up, which is why I've invited two special guests, one from Atlanta and the other all the way from Brazil, to talk about our global climate and its effects.
Let's welcome our guests for today, Dr. Payal Patel and Dr. Pryor. They will tell us about a new study on the effects of climate change on endurance.
Let's welcome our first guest today, a local ecologist, Dr. Patel.
Hi, thank you for having me on today's show. As an ecologist, I study how species interact with each other and their environment, from resources to temperature.
That's very interesting, Dr. Patel. Now, can you explain to our audience all the details about climate change and the trend it's following?
Of course. Climate change involves a change in temperature and precipitation in areas around the world. The biomes where organisms live are defined by these conditions, as you can see here. But in terms of what is to come, the global climate is projected to increase from 1.5 degrees Celsius to 2 degrees Celsius in the next 100 years. This change will alter habitats around the world and can bring devastating effects to the ecosystem.
Really?
Yes, species adapt to occupy a very specific role in their ecosystems and can live within a very specific range of variables called their niche. When organisms face changes in temperature and precipitation, they respond in several different ways. They can adapt over time to suit the new conditions, change their phenology, which is the timing of their life cycle events, or shift their niches to follow the climate changes they need. Finally, if a species can't respond fast enough, it goes extinct, which affects the ecosystem as a whole. Biodiversity is very crucial for a well-balanced ecosystem.
Well, it sure does sound like climate change is an ever-increasing problem. Let's talk to our second guest, Dr. Pryor, for a more detailed look.
Now, Chloe, tell us about what you do.
Recently, I've been working on a team predicting the effects of climate change on endurance, which are tailless amphibians, or frogs and toads. Our research focuses on the Atlantic forest and the Cerrado, which are regions in Brazil, as both of these regions are home to hundreds of species of endurance, many of which are endemic to the region.
So how did you do that?
Well, we gather occurrence data for all of these species, and we create ecological niche models which show where the organisms live based on their temperature and precipitation preferences. And doing this, we can use statistical methods to show a matrix showing where the species are present now and where we think they'll be in 2050 and 2070 based on predicted climate.
That's a lot of data. What would you look at after that?
Well, first we look at alpha diversity, which is simply a count of the number of species present. You can see on this map the change in alpha diversity for each grid cell, with orange showing increases and decreases and blue showing increases. On average, and in most areas, the alpha diversity for both regions decreased, but there were some regions of increase. We also looked at the beta diversity, which shows how much each grid cell contributes to the diversity of the region as a whole, and can show which areas may be more important in terms of conservation. The beta diversity did not change much in the Atlantic forest region, but average beta diversity in the Cerrado is expected to decrease as species change their ranges and homogenize over the region. Also, the currently higher levels of beta diversity in the northeastern area of the Cerrado is expected to decrease, and more areas of beta diversity are expected to be found in southern areas of the Cerrado. Overall, our main concern is the lack of climatically suitable area for these species, and we predict the extinction of 42 species total in these regions by the year 2070.
So what does this mean for conservation?
In terms of this case, my team proposes that we shift more conservation efforts to the southern areas of the Cerrado hotspot where we think that they'll have stronger effect. But in general, we think that this type of work with ecological niche models is very important for guiding conservation efforts and should be used for other organisms.
Well, it was very nice to have you two on the show today, Dr. Patel and Dr. Pryor.
Nice to be here.
We look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yes, and thank you, audience, for allowing us to share our concern about climate change with you. Join us again next time on GTTV.